This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Tired of ads interfering with your favorite sports podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening is available on Amazon Music for all the music plus top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Stay ahead of the game by downloading the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/sports ad free. That's amazon.com/sports ad free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proudly supported by McDelivery, bringing you the food you love. McDelivery brings a top-tier lineup of food right to your door. No matter the result, you'll always be winning with McDelivery. Order now on the McDonald's app and you'll get rewards points delivered too. So that ordering today means some tasty rewards for tomorrow. Only via app at participating restaurants. 18 plus. Rewards registration required. Points only on menu items. Delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night, and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Small Affordable Cars. I'm Paul Hipkiss, and tonight we're joined by Craig Courtney.
Good evening, all.
Just at the skin of his teeth, Mark Meredith.
Evening, all.
Mark Adams.
Hello, everyone.
Alan Watson.
Good evening.
Chris Browne.
Good evening.
And last but definitely not least is Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Who are you?
Yeah.
A tired away fan.
Tired and weary.
Are you tired and weary, Claire?
I am very tired and weary at the moment.
It's all over now, Claire. No more away games this season. 3,300 miles later. 3 wins. And I think it's 5 draws away from home this season, is it? Or 4? And then we've lost the rest. Absolutely appalling away from home this season. Unacceptable. And on Saturday, obviously, first half, we get the lead just before half-time. I think, come on, then here we go. 2 or 3-0 now. And then we come out and we just completely roll over in the first 2 minutes of the second half. I mean, talk us through, Claire, your thoughts and your day as well, because I believe you're the only one out of all of us that was there. So,
yeah, I mean, we all met up as normal, the group, and, we go down with hope. A lot of hope. It seems to be hope every week.
Yeah.
I thought we actually started well. I thought we had quite a good tempo. You could tell they wanted it. You could tell they needed it. But I felt we matched them. I thought the first half, actually, we're doing okay here. Did they come at us? Yes, they did. Did we defend well? I thought we did. In the first half, I thought Miyoshi was good. I thought Anderson was good. Bakuna, bit lazy for me. And we scored, and the relief, I cried. And the relief of everybody. But I saw grown men nervous. I saw, everybody was slightly different to normal. You go in and we're all singing "Run Our Way." We're trying to, in the pen outside, and we're quite jubilant. We're like, yes, right, 10, 15 minutes, hold on to this. But then, literally, come out second half, all of a sudden, bang goal. I thought, oh, here we go again. Yeah. And then we just never had that. We just lacked something. I thought Laird had a horrendous second half. Yeah. The game was calling for Jukovic. They were tall. They were massive. Literally, if Jukovic could have been fit the whole game, we would have won that game. Yeah. I think he made the right subs. And I just think that we didn't put the ball in the box when Jukovic came on. Couldn't believe it. We bring Jukovic on. I think we crossed the ball once, and some of them were corners. And it was that's Jay's chance, literally, we were right behind it. And we were like agonising. It went wide. Yeah. But they wanted it more. I mean, the last 10 minutes, they went at us and we just looked like, oh, we're happy with the draw. And I think it was the same the week before. I think we were just happy with the draw. I mean, if we had won that game, it would have been in our own hands. Like, Plymouth have got massive games and Blackburn. And now we're back to square one. Obviously, they're down, Huddersfield are, because of the goal swing. But
Yeah.
I just felt like we could have just given a bit more. We needed Jukovic on with Sandfield again. Jay's running and running and running. I thought Miyoshi was good. Bilic was good again. I just think like Sanderson for the goal. Do you know, I noticed this a lot because I was right near the front. He points to everybody else instead of marking somebody. And I've never really noticed it. But at the end, there was boos. There was, you're not fit to wear the shirt. There was arguments in the crowd because obviously some people think that that's right. Some people thought it was wrong. And I'm just so glad that away games are over and done with. And I really hope one year I can see more than 4 away wins in a season.
I think, I think there is a handful of players that are fit to wear the shirt, but unfortunately, there's not enough of them, and that's why we are where we are. But just so everyone knows as well, we'll be joined by David Davis at 7:00 as well. David Davis will be joining us at 7 p.m. As well. But I just find us very passive. I think there's a lot of periods in each game that we play where there's not enough urgency there. They don't look like they're busting a gut to get the ball back when they haven't got it. And when we have got it, they're just like dinking it around left and right and backwards. And, there's just get it up the field. And, we need to score goals. We've got to try and stay in the division. You ain't got time to be passing it around in front of the keeper and back to the keeper. And, there's just too much of that for me. And there's just too many games this season as well that have passed us by. Before you know it, it's the 75th minute and we've only had a couple of shots in the game. And it's like, it's happened so many times this season. But, Craig, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you agree with what I just said there? Don't you think that we're just so passive and naive as well? Very naive, aren't we?
We just... Naive's a polite way of putting it. I mean, when I look at the second half of that game, scoring when we did, most people will say that is the best time to score a goal because you then know that those teams are just going in thinking, oh, God, we've conceded right on the break. But we almost just rolled over and went, come and tickle our tummies as we kicked off. And I wouldn't mind if it was even a decent ball and a decent setup play. But the guy was just completely open for the cross. And as far as the, goal scorer was concerned, might as well have just handed him the ball, let alone crossing it to him, because he had that much time and space. It was ridiculous. Yeah. I never have understood it because Birmingham are always the same. We never, ever start a second half the way that we ultimately end them, which is we're normally on the front foot and having a go. We're normally up for things. It's almost as though somebody's behind us and we've got like this little machine that's winding us up to get us to a stage when we can actually look as though we're going to do something. But, I mean, I'm on the fence as far as the singing and stuff were concerned, because I do believe that there were people that, you're right, they're just not doing anything for us. Right? And I think if we had the opportunity, we not played them. But then there are other people. Like, I really feel for Jay Stansfield. Yeah. Because that kid has been trying his backside off all season. He has scored us ultimately the goals that have kept us in the position that we're in now, let alone anything else. And he's gone public, hasn't he? He's almost issued an apology for his reaction to the fans. But do you know what? Jay, okay, fair play, but he shouldn't have to do that. What I would do, if it was me and I was one of those players, I'd be turning around and saying, come Saturday, do you know what? You saying you're not fit to wear the shirt, I'm going to stick my fingers up to you and I'm going to show you exactly what we can do. I'm going to sign off, and I want to sign off the way that I should have played all season.
They shouldn't be doing Saturday, Craig. Saturday's too late now. We should be safe now. Do you know what I mean?
We should, but we're not. And this is the thing. We're in the situation where we have been for numerous seasons. At some point or other, the bubble has to burst. I really do fear for this weekend, but then I also look around us and think, do you know what? Is Lady Luck actually shining on us a little bit? Because even though we haven't gone and won the games, we now haven't lost in 3. We haven't played brilliant, but we haven't lost. The teams around us are still not getting results. I look at Saturday and thinking, Jesus, Plymouth, they're going to get a result here. And then they go on to lose, and it puts them just that little bit ahead of us. And then the other teams, Blackburn, I keep coming back to Blackburn because as a team and a fan, if I was a fan of Blackburn, I would be worried going into Saturday. They're going to be playing ultimately the league champions. they're going to be playing a team that may well be looking to score 100 points in the season. They're playing the team away from home, so there's going to be a party atmosphere. And I know we've seen results that have been strange. We saw Sheffield Wednesday beating the Albion the weekend, but those other
teams... But they wanted it, Craig. That's the difference. Sheffield Wednesday and QPR went full on at it because they knew if they got a win, they would be okay. That's our problem. We haven't.
The funny thing is, we said at the start of the season that we thought John Eustace would keep us up.
He still could. And do you know what I mean? This is the exact thing. We could go into Saturday and we could all be walking away going, Eustace has done his job. You know, Eustace got sent off. He's not even on the bench for the game.
Oh, is that right?
On
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got sent off.
Yeah.
The thing is, Craig, it's not been this bad in this situation where it's been out of our hands, really, since Bolton. You know what I mean? All these other games, Bristol City and, could have drawn. We could have drawn, and mind you, we did draw and stay up against Bolton, didn't we? But I don't know. I think this is probably worse than Bolton. Then in that case, we have to win, so we cannot afford to draw. So in all other situations, I think we could have stayed up drawing as well, couldn't we? Like we did at Bolton, for example. But Mark Meredith, your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, no, you're good. I echo what people say. You know, it was a strange one Saturday. I thought first half we didn't do enough. Don't get me wrong, we weren't excellent, but I thought we'd done what we needed to do first half, and then we got a late goal. And normally you would think getting a goal right on half time, your whole mood would change. The half time talk would be a little bit different. You'd go out in the second half and really get your teeth into what you've got. And our issue is we concede probably 90 seconds after the half time. And then Huddersfield was always going to come at us. It's their last home game of the season. They're relegated if they don't win. So you expect that they were going to come. And we just didn't have it. We feared then a lot that we were going to lose the game. We didn't have enough. We ran out of ideas. You know, like you said, the ball starts to pass around and don't really get it in the final third anymore. Don't really have any idea on what we're doing. It is what it is right now. We deserve to be where we are over the season. You look back, I was talking to Dad earlier. You look back to the Cardiff game a couple of weeks ago. It's our game in hand at home, and we're disastrous. We get beat, and we stay in the bottom three then. So there's those games throughout the season. There's those decisions that have been made managerial-wise. There's players not playing for the shirt. There's a whole load of reasons why we are where we are. But we're going into Saturday knowing that we have to win, and I'm a little 50-50 on it. It's going to be very nerve-wracking to know that we don't score many goals, so we've got to score a goal to win the game, obviously. But being at home is going to give us a little bit more. I think, going back to what you just said about QPR and Blackburn. No, not Blackburn.
Plymouth.
Yeah. So those teams, like QPR was at home Friday night. We get a great result against Leeds, but they're at home with their home support. Plymouth obviously got beat, so that keeps them where they are. Sheffield Wednesday was at home to the Albion, so again, they got the home support. It may have been a bit of a difference if we played Huddersfield at home and not away. We've not been good away all season. But you can't make excuses. We are 1 point behind that. We could have been more points behind it. Teams, again, have done us favours in the time that we haven't been very good. But I think we should go out and try to win Saturday, knowing that, even a win may not be enough. And the strangest things have happened before. A draw could be enough if Hull go and smash Plymouth at Plymouth. So you just never know. But I'm on the fence. I really am right now. I don't know going into Saturday what's going to happen, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of early comments coming in. Why on earth JJ hasn't been playing? And, a lot of people saying he should be in the team on Saturday. And I totally agree with that. Alan, do you agree with that, mate? Do you think JJ should be getting more game time than what he is?
Well, me and JJ, I'm a big fan. He would be on my team sheet 9 times out of 10, and certainly in this situation, I look into people's eyes and say, do they want this? Do they want that? And I could look into his eyes and I'd know, get me out there, boss. I want him to go.
Yeah.
Some of the others would be, well, they ain't quite as keen. It's almost like, the situation hasn't really changed. The only difference now is that if we don't win, we're down. It's simple as that. I mean, Plymouth would have to get beat about 8 or 9 because if we draw, we don't improve our goal difference. So Plymouth would have to get beat monstrously.
Plymouth are only 4 goals.
Yeah, 4 goals.
But they'd have to lose by 5 for them to have a worse goal difference than us.
Haven't we got the head-to-head on them?
Pardon?
We've got the head-to-head on them.
We won more games. We won more games than them.
We've beaten them, haven't we? So if it was to come down to goal difference and be exactly the same, we beat them, so therefore you go up and you stay up. I know we're looking at...
Go for it. If they're trying to be in the playoffs, will they be 3-0 up and go, let's rest some people then?
Well, Hull have got to win, haven't they? And Hull are still within a shout. West Brom are not safe in the playoffs. Norwich.
I'm just thinking it's pointless to even look at all the scenarios other than us beating Norwich because it's pointless if we don't beat Norwich. We just got to go out there on Saturday.
We're the only team in the group that can't afford to lose. All the other 3 can lose and stay up.
Yeah,
we can't. We can't. So, yes, the pressure is on us. And if these people in blue shirts don't react to that, then it's a bloody poor show, to be honest, and we'll get all we deserve. Now, I'm a great believer in, in human nature that, if that was any of us here playing for anybody who were in that position, our own pride and professionalism and whatever would, I'm not going to be part of this team that's, disappeared into the pits of the earth, basically. We talk about coming straight back. I'm thinking if we lose some of our players and we replace them with other 3rd division players, because who's going to come out of the Premiership to play for in League One? We could be looking at League Two the way that the attitude is. We've got to find some way of arresting that, and that means probably wiping the lot out, get rid of them all, and get some people in. But they're not necessarily going to be league winners. Maybe in 2 years' time, we can't afford to be sitting around in that division for 2 years' time. We certainly can't afford to be fighting relegation in that division. Which
no, I just find it's unbelievable. I do. It's typical Blues. We get the perfect owners, and look where we are in the league. It's just like. I think I said on the chat, didn't I? If we were a box of chocolates, you'd take the lid off and there'd be a sewing kit inside. You know what I mean? And that is exactly what we are at the moment. So, but Mark Adams, mate, what are you thinking now? Where's your head at? Are you sleeping?
No, I mean, to be honest, it's going to be a long week for everyone, isn't it? You're going back to the actual game on Saturday. Their goal was just one of a trillion that we keep seeing the same soft goal. It's not even world beaters that beat us. It's the same bog standard goal every week. And it's the same lack of leadership, same mentality. We're just not clearing our lines. We're not grabbing the ball by the horns. We go cautious. We go scared. And it's been a pattern all season. It's all right, turning out for the odd sellout, the Sunderland game, the Coventry game. Well, we need to start more often, not once every 8 games. So we are kind of where we are. I'm hoping beyond hope that I'm wrong. I hope we do, win and we stay up. Great. But we've been saying the last few weeks, haven't we, on the scale of how worried we are. But I think I'm above a 5 now.
Oh, God.
But, if the worst comes to the worst and we do go, I don't think for a minute we'll sort of sit back. We will go hell-bent on going straight back after a year. Some people on social media, you're getting... in 5 years' time, we'll have a big ground for League Two. And no, the Americans aren't here for that. It will be hell-bent on going up after one season.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, we have been unlucky with certain things that have happened. Obviously, with Tony, falling unwell, which is very unfortunate. And, I hope he's continuing to make a good recovery because I would have thought we'd be by far favourites if we was in League One next season with him as our manager. And I hope, obviously, he's our manager, whether we stay up or go down next season. But there is part of me that thinks that if the worst thing does happen, then, we will win more than what we lose in that league. And that'll I'm not saying it'll be a good thing to go down, don't get me wrong, because it'll be heartbreaking. But, there is part of me that thinks that it will change the mentality a little bit across the place with regards to results on the pitch. You know, we'll win more than we lose. Hopefully we'll rob that division and win it. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but you'd like to think that we could. And then we could be on the crest of a wave coming back into the Championship the season after and do what we've done this season, you know?
To be honest, Paul, going back to, I mean, ironically, it's like 30 years, isn't it, since Barry Fry took us down. And we was the same. I remember thinking, oh, God, back to the second division. And we had a bit of a rough start, if I remember. I think we lost at Orient the first game. And then everyone's calling for Barry to go. But then we clicked. And what a memorable season. You know, we had Wembley on top of it. So why can't it happen again? But it was a lovely season. It's memorable. We had a great day out at Wembley and all the rest of it. But I don't want to play in the Bristol Street Motors Cup again. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I want to be in the Championship.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Nigel Mann's asking me if I've been drinking. No, not yet. Nigel, no, but I probably will be at like from 3 o'clock Saturday. I will be either way. But
and he's got his own teeth in as well.
All I'm trying to do, Nigel, is keep myself sane at the moment. So. You know, I'm always trying to put a cloud on. Every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it? And we'll also make it on the Wrexham documentary as well, wouldn't we? I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not think like that. Let's think positive. We can do it Saturday. We can win, and I believe that if we do win, then we will stay up. I don't think all three of the other teams will win. I think at least one of them will lose, and I think that'll be Blackburn at Leicester.
I think what is a positive is our home record is good, and Norwich don't have a great away record. No. So and their manager is known. Yeah. So you know, maybe that might be in our favour, looking as positive as we can. Yeah. We just got to go for it. We've got to, whatever they did for the Coventry game, just do it again. Basically, just do it again. And do you know what? If you're a player that has been here for 4 years or however long, and this is your last go, just go off with a win, and then we'll say goodbye, see you later, thank you so much. I think the problem's going to be if we lose and you don't try, then we will be on your back. And I mean, I don't know what people think. Should the awards still happen? I know that they're more than likely, but what do the shout box think that should the awards still happen if we go down? Because Derby didn't have theirs when they went down. Loads of people don't have them. So
no, I think obviously the under-18s, I believe, are champions. Is that right? And is it the under
PDL? Yeah.
So it's not just about the men's first team, but I do think it is. You know, it will be a bit of a farce if we have been relegated and we're at the player awards the night after, to be honest. But it is what it is, isn't it? You know, and Craig, let's have, before obviously Digger joins us, let's have a few minutes on the women's team as well. See, is it the end of their season now? Sorry, as we know, I don't.
Yeah, it was the last game yesterday. Another 1-0 defeat away from home. Not short of opportunities or anything else, though. I think it was just, the way the season was going to end. So it's all over and done with now. We look to build with Amy now, looking forwards into next season and start again in September. So it's a bit of a break for the ladies. But it's been one of those seasons where we started off poorly. No results out of the first 3 games. And then we went on a bit of a mazy run, taking us up to the festive period, and everybody was thinking this is superb. I think we turned the festive season top of the league. And then we missed a game because of the weather, and it all just seemed to go downhill. So it was unfortunate. We've seen a change in management. We've seen the teams basically being kicked all over the place with injuries. So we've really had a tough time this year. But we've kept the nucleus of the squad. There's obviously some decisions still to be made on other players, but the nucleus of what you would want to go forwards is still there. And yeah, it's a case now of building ready for that push next year. But I've got to say, the league itself is just downright stupid. To only have one team being promoted is just ridiculous. It should never be in that position. Why we don't look to merge other leagues together and have more positions to go up and almost then have, more coming down out of the Women's Super League is just beyond me. But something needs to be done, because it's unfair, because I think, again, the way this season ended, Charlton, who finished second, were only a point behind the team that went up. And that was the same for Birmingham last year. It was so tough, and it's unfair, because everybody that plays equal amount of games has the opportunities, but one team going up is ridiculous. So hopefully that will be looked at a little bit further. But tough way to end the season. Have a read of Stephen Gill's last blog. It is on our website, being put out in socials now. It gives you a really good breakdown of the game, as always, where he is very open, very honest, and just exactly what we look for. And Stephen's also going to do an end of year review as well. So we'll see how everybody thinks. But unfortunate, again, similar to the men now, we just have to look forward to next season and see what we can do. Paul, just before Digger does come on, can we go around the shape, not just the shape box, but ourselves, ahead of Saturday? I know we'll do similar at the end. But where do people honestly think the results will be? And
I didn't want to do this, Craig. I didn't want to tempt fate.
Oh, God.
Won't catch me doing this.
You've killed it now, Craig.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, Craig. We promised each other we would do this, because then what happens is it the opposite?
Yeah, don't ask me, because I've got it right. Last two games.
Do it on your 50-50 show and leave it off here.
Right, I'll tell you what, they ain't been far wrong, so I'll stick with them ones. But no, being realistic, right, I've got to say it now. If I don't think positive going into the weekend, then it's just, you're going to walk into a ground where already there'll be a hostile environment, and it'll just make it feel worse, and it'll drag people down. So I've got to think about the positives, and that's what I am looking at, is we can still get out of this. Yes, we've got a tough game, but we can still get out of this. And we have proven that we can play against those teams that are in the top half of the league, and we've proven that we can get results against them. So why can't we go into Saturday with a positive frame of mind? Because arguably the amount of pressure that's on us is exactly the same as those teams around us. And there's not one team that could be dragged into it. There's three.
We need, if we survive Saturday, we need another concert after.
Yeah, staying up.
The fans will do that anyway. Do you know what I mean? I think if we survive Saturday, the party atmosphere will be there. And, I'm not going to say that people will stick around to applaud the players around the pitch at the end. No. Far from it. In fact, I think we'll see a lot of mass exodus out the stadium towards the end. We mentioned the Players' Awards. Are people going to be going up to the Players' Awards if we've stayed up and saying, come on, let's have a photograph and everything else? No. And I actually think the players will know going into that it's going to be hostile and it's not going to be pleasant.
They need to put money behind the bar for all of us like that being.
Yep, I agree.
I'm not being funny, but I can't, to me, at the end of the day, we've supported you through thick and thin. You've decided whenever you've wanted to play and when it's a big game and all of this. Well, some of us have spent thousands watching you. And I'm not being funny, but buying me a few drinks might actually make it a little bit easier on the awards night. So for me, they should have an open bar after what they've done to us, and all the players should chip in £5 each.
They should have a whip round, Claire, and give you £1 a mile that you've done. 3,300 quid back. There you go.
If I had 45p a mile, me and Mum, we would be quids in. We reckon. We worked it out. I think we've spent about 3,000 to 4,000 watching the Blues. Okay. That's including petrol, staying over, drinks, food, everything.
Yeah.
And they triple, quadruple that in a week.
Sorry, Claire. There's a wicked comment come from Richard Hayler on the message board. And he's just put, she's not singing yet. She's just adjusted her undergarments and he's clearing her throat. But it's not over yet. Come on, you Blue Boys. And I think, everybody has to think that going into the stadium, because if you're going negatively, it's gonna rub off. We can do this. I don't know which way it's gonna go. But
we've sold out, haven't we, for 6 home games this season and won them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, why not? It's a complete sellout. There isn't a seat in the house, so let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's bring that performance that we did against Coventry, Preston, Sunderland, all these games where we sold out, you know, and we won the game. Let's just do it one more time, and I believe that if we do, we'll be okay.
And can I say, if the people from the club, as we know, do listen to this, can we tee up, keep right on, and the proper version, before
it's great. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because when that is sang, that's when the passion really, really comes through. So get it right. Don't do as you screwed up the other week against Cardiff. It didn't work. When it's right,
the Coventry game.
Unreal.
Can I make a request as well? Can we bring back Singing the Blues from Tom Ross and Ian Danter as well?
Ian Danter,
yeah. Bring that back as well. That'll get the crowd buzzing before the game to hear that again.
No.
I mean, when I went away last week to Rotherham with Accessi Blues, that last 20 minutes of the journey, you know, they put a great set list on, one song after the other, like I said last week. So it'd be great to hear Tom Ross and Ian Danter again in the stadium, wouldn't it? It was such a great song.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll fight to the end.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll fight to the end. We always have done. We always will do. We'll go there with hope and optimism. It's down to them now. Literally, it's do or die. Players have got to turn up. Go back to your kid days. Go back to when you've wanted to become a professional footballer. These are the days that you play for. And it's about pressure.
Yeah, so talking about fighting to the end, what I'd give to have this man on the pitch for us on Saturday. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming the one and only David Davis to the Tilton Talk Show.
Hello, Dave.
You all right?
How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you guys?
All good.
All right.
We're all good.
A bit worried about Saturday.
Are you worried? I think you'll be all right, you know, mate. I was saying, I was speaking yesterday, and I was basically saying when we were came down to the final day of the season, we were always just above it. Whereas obviously I know the guys are just below it now. They've got to win and rely on others. But I think with the home game and stuff like that, if they can feed off and create the same performances like they did against Coventry, then I think they'll get their result. It's just depending on the others, isn't it?
You was at that Coventry game, weren't you, Digger?
Yeah, I went to it, yeah.
Are you there Saturday?
Well, if we can get some tickets, mate. But so it'll be hard to get tickets, won't it? And especially a lot of the lads that have family and friends, don't they?
You don't need a ticket, mate. Just walk in cop reception. I'll let you in.
Yeah.
Man, I'm the same as everyone else, then, aren't I, mate?
Yeah, but, you know, we need you there, mate, because you was there against Coventry. We need you there Saturday, man.
I'm going to try and get down. Harley will probably come with me as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Can you play?
Well, if they
Bring your boots.
I want to try and register me, I'll give it a go.
Yeah. So how you doing nowadays? Then I know your last club you was at Forest Green, weren't you? And then you was at Solihull Moors as well for a bit. Are you still playing now? Or have you hung your boots up now? Are you still playing?
No, I'm not really playing at the minute, mate. So the last club was at Solihull, really. Been at Forest Green this year, but had a bit of an illness. The club haven't really spoke about it too much. So I don't know whether I can kind of speak properly about it, but in a nutshell, it was just they thought I had something called myositis. Turns out I didn't. It was more of some viral thing, but it just made my muscles weak, and they just don't adapt how they would now. You know how you get DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Mine lasts for 3 or 4 days. So obviously being a professional in the past, usually it'd be a day if you do something strenuous, whereas mine lasts 4 days or so. So it's been weird. But I would like to try and train, see how the body adapts. I haven't done anything for nearly a year. So it's been a bit weird, not even speaking about it and stuff like that. So yeah.
But you feeling okay? You feeling good now?
Yeah, I feel a lot better now. I was having some tests last year, and we obviously thought it was somewhat a lot different because of how I was feeling. But yeah, I feel fine now. That's why I want to try and give it a bit of a crack in the summer, really. Just see how my body reacts to it, if that makes sense. Yeah,
well, good luck with all that. I hope it all goes well. I'm pleased that you've making progress and a recovery from that, because you're still only young, aren't you? What are you, 32?
33, mate. 33.
You're a baby. You're a baby.
Yeah, no, it feels weird. I'm not ready to kind of call it a day, but if my body doesn't let me, then
of course, yeah.
And I'm the type of person as well. Obviously, you guys know I am. I'll run myself into the ground. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot. It takes quite a lot for me to not give up, but like, yeah, brother talent.
Would you like to stay in football?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I think this year's made it quite difficult to be in and around it because it's not in the same capacity. So there's still that bit that I haven't kind of let go, but I think in the future maybe to some degree. I think I would like to do more the mentoring side, I think, because like I was really good with like, the young players at Blues and players that I've played with in the past. I've been always good with like, the younger ones. I think mainly because when I was a young lad coming through, the older pros are a lot harsher, a lot more like on your case, whereas I felt that not my confidence, whereas you always want to try and, especially the lads who you can see potential in, and they've got a good like attitude about them. You want to uplift them and give them the best chance in that aspect, let their football do the talking, but also make them feel relaxed and part of the group.
Yeah, definitely. So talking about mentoring though, you're in the dressing room now at 12:15 on Saturday. So what are you saying to the lads, and what advice would you give them? And talk us through your scenario as well in the Fulham game, obviously, as well. What was said in the dressing room before that game, and because we're going to need to take a leaf out of that cap, aren't we? Feather out of that cap on Saturday.
Yeah, to be fair, I weren't really like a massive talker. I was a massive talker on the pitch. Like, I'd always try and communicate with people on the pitch. But like, I think the only time I ever lost my head was under Zola, and I think it was the Wigan game. I think we lost. And I was like to lads, like, I was like, I'm not being funny, because it was like all the foreign boys were there. And I was like, I'm not being funny, but if you boys just think we're going to get relegated and you're going to get another team, you've got another thing coming. Like, that's not how it works. Like, we've all been shit. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
No.
You are now.
Sorry.
I'll beep that out anyway. Beep.
We've all been poor. Like, that's not how it works. I think some of these foreign boys, like, they weren't too sure about it. Like, they thought they were just going to move on, and that's how it happens. And like, it affects a lot of people around the club. So I think, especially like the Fulham game for us, I think we'd had a few players that had been in and around it, so we kind of knew what to expect of each other. And like I say, when you've been in the trenches with a lot of those players, you could look around and you'd be like, yeah, he's got my back today, he's got my back. So like, it wasn't ever like we needed to pep talk each other, if that makes sense. You give like little bits of advice to the younger ones and stuff like that, but the older lads, we just knew. I think we had, like, on that Fulham, we had Gary Monk. When you've got a manager that you want to play for, him and Gary Rout were similar, very, very similar. But you want to run into the ground for him. So not much needs to be said, but I think with Gary Rout there, like, I know a lot of the boys are young, but you still got Dukin out there, guards. Yeah. Feel like the older boys, Mark Roberts. I don't know whether he was with Rout, but no, he wasn't.
No, Redknapp signed him then, yeah.
Well, when you've got someone like him, like his man management and the way he makes you feel, like, you've probably seen it in some of the performances, maybe not going to get it out of them like a lot of the lads because they're still young. But when you're playing for a manager like him, like, you'll fight for him, like, you'll play for the shirt, do you know what I mean? Like, you always do, but that little bit more when you are playing for a manager that you trust and gives you that trust, like, psychologically you're already there.
Yeah. And what would you say to him if you was in the dressing room at 12:15 on Saturday? You've just been given like 5 minutes to talk to him. What are you going to say?
I'd just say, lads, just give it your all. There's nothing to fear. Like, all the fans want to see is you just run your arse off a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all. Because we're a working man's club. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never supported Blues before I come, but when I left, I was Blues through and through because they took to me and I took to them. Like, probably the way that I play, if you know what I mean. But it's a working man's club. Like, just give it your all. Like, it's pointless thinking about the rest of the season. Just give it your all, and end of the day, if you come off the pitch and you gave your all, the fans, if the results don't go your way and you give it your all, the fans will respect that. I know the season's fun to plan, but I know what you guys are like. Like, if you, like you say, you give your all for the shirt and you can see that we're genuinely trying, then that's all you ask for. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Any other questions coming in, Chris, for Digger off the
quite a lot, yeah. Digger would be useful in mentoring at Blues, says Dom Kavanagh. I always remember David Davis' first game in the League Cup versus Cambridge, real battler. You could see that straight away. Michael Woods wants to know, has a six-pack suffered, Digger?
The six-pack hasn't. A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I did lose quite a lot of weight, to be fair, in the beginning, which was one of the symptoms I was having. But I've now managed to put a lot of weight back on. So, yeah, it's weird eating more than I'm used to eating. So, but I still eat quite clean, and then I go to the gym. So,
Keith on YouTube wants to know, what's your favourite memory game at Blues?
It's easy to say the Villa and Wolves game, but I think one of my favourite games is the Fulham home win, not the last day of the season, the one under Zola. I think we hadn't won for ages, and we were playing quite good football under Zola to begin with. We weren't the results, were we? But that result there, it just broke obviously we were losing, so it broke the streak, but I know we didn't really perform after that, but it just felt like the fans and the players came together. That was probably, the fans probably didn't take to Zola as much, but it felt like they did that day, if you know what I mean. You could see with it. All
the celebration, yeah. It's like we won the league. I remember that, yeah. Zola was running about as if we won the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It was quite special that day, maybe a lot of relief, but because we were flying in the league, weren't we? Like, we were doing really well. Yeah. We were fourth before the gaffer got sacked, and I think, Was there any bust-ups at all within the squad? Lily wants to know. Any bust-ups with any other players from the club? There was quite a few, to be fair. There was Emilio and Sue had a few of the boys. He wasn't the full ticket, though. He was. We weren't the greatest. We weren't the greatest of people. Let's just say that. Right. I had one with Thomas Kujak, which is quite funny. Yeah, we were. To be fair, he still don't know this to this day, but I consider myself not a grass. So we're doing a recovery, and you got the foam rollers. So we're throwing a few of the foam rollers down, but you can't see because we're all like lying back. So Ryan shot on us through one of the foam rollers at Thomas Kujak, and I've made eye contact with him as it's hit him, and I'm laughing, and he was like thought it was me, and he stormed straight towards me. So the first thing like I reacted to do, because I was like felt in danger, like in a sense, because he's a big lad, isn't he? Yeah, he's massive, isn't he? Yeah? I've just punched him, and like I've popped his nose, but like he's come back for more. And luckily the lads broke it up, because I can't lie, he probably would have battered me. But and then Zola came downstairs, like he asked for a meeting, not with like me and Thomas, just generally like of the match that we had the day before. And he saw that Thomas's nose was bloody, and he's like, "You can't do that." The girl was like, "Yeah, I know." But luckily Tommy never seeked revenge or anything like that, because he would have battered me. He would have. He's a bit less. Did you get on after that, though? Did you sort of we got on after it. It's just the way he was charging at me, but he still don't know he was shot two through it, like it weren't me. He still don't know. But, Ray wants to know, what was the feeling like scoring against the Villa? What was you thinking as you ran past Brucey? A lot of people think that I was actually shouting at Bruce, but I weren't. I was basically my Mrs.'s auntie and uncle are Villa fans, and they couldn't get Villa tickets that day, so they were sat in the Blues end, right, with other families. So I was actually running past them and said, "Come on, let's effing have some." Flipping, and then but that feeling, mate. Every time I watch it now, I still get goosebumps. Like it's surreal. Like not many people can say they get to score in a derby, but of that, for me, it felt like a massive game, because it was the first league derby in years, weren't it? Yeah. I know we played him in the cup, and I think we should have beat him that day. Like Clates missed that golden opportunity. Said that wasn't over the line. But I felt like we were a lot better than that day. So it's probably the best chance we had to beat him over the couple of years I was there. Yeah. Claire, you got any questions you want to ask Digger yourself?
Hello. Who was like the best player to like play with in the squad during like any season you've been at Blues?
I'm not going to say the obvious. I'll probably say.
Was that Check Endor?
Mate, what a geezer, man! What a guy. He hit the jackpot, didn't he? But such a lovely guy, mate. Honestly, like One of the most clean-hearted people you'll ever meet, like just genuine. So you couldn't have someone like that. You couldn't have asked to happen to a lovelier guy.
Yeah.
I would say John Terrell. He was. I know it didn't work out for him on his return, but that loan season, mate, he was something else. He was just a magician. Yeah, and we tried to bring Diego back, and Diego just looked half the player because John was so good.
Yeah.
But other than that, it'd be Jude, and it, like,
oh yeah,
he was unreal, weren't he?
Unbelievable, yeah. And what he's gone on to do, and what he's going to carry on doing, and he will win a Ballon d'Or. And
yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, hopefully he'll help us lift the Euros trophy as well. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by his rise. Like, I liken him to like an Einstein, but of football. You know, someone who just, you give him information once and they just take it in and they can just be able to produce it. That's him with football.
Like a sponge.
Tell him some information or show him a clip. He gets it straight away. And there's not many players that can do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and such a nice, humble kid. Like, a lot of people probably think he's got that arrogance about him, but it's not arrogance, it's confidence. Like, there's a difference. He speaks so mature for his age, and just what a guy. Honestly,
what he does when he takes his jacket off and gives it to the mascot and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah.
Just a class act, isn't he? Oh, you know, on and off the field.
You can just see he's been brought up with great manners, and credit to his parents. Like, they've done an absolute wonderful job, and it shows just in his mannerisms and his persona. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, still talk to him now, and he's just got, a lot of people would think as well, because he's gone that high, he wouldn't have a lot of time for people, but he's just a normal guy. Like, I think that's the perception people get of footballers, though. We're just normal people.
Tired of ads intruding into your favorite comedy podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening is available on Amazon Music for all the music plus top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Dive into a world of laughs by downloading the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/comedy ad-free. That's amazon.com/comedy ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Picture the scene. All of your mates around, you've got your McNugget share boxes ready to go. Partner this with your team playing champagne football. Perfect. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app. There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. At participating restaurants, 18 plus, serving times, delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
People.
Yeah.
Not the same as you guys, like.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love the way he's gone to Real Madrid and got Zidane's shirt, and he's absolutely ripping it up. It's like no one's ever done that, have they? Really?
Ever. I don't think anyone's ever hit the ground running like that.
No. So just unbelievable. Alan, any questions from yourself for Digger?
Good evening, Dave.
Hi, mate. You're right.
I'll tell you what, it struck me what you said about the foreign players and players in your side that didn't get it. You know, they thought they were just going to move on.
Yeah.
I get the impression that that's what's happening in the side at the moment. There are people in there think, well, if we go down, I'll get a transfer to somebody else. But I can't imagine anybody looking at a side that's just got relegated into into League One, thinking, wow, we'll have him because he's a failure. Because no matter what they mentally, they're a failure.
Yeah.
So they either play for us in League One or they get transferred to somebody else in League One. Nobody in the Championship or the Premier is going to touch him with the barge pole, are they?
I think that's the thing now as well. Like, I've seen so many players who are like my age, bit younger, who are big names in the Championship who are struggling to get teams now because they thought that they could either run their contract down, hadn't been in teams that weren't performing, but it's harder to get clubs now. I think it's not like it was 4 or 5 years ago where if you're a free agent, then it was great. Like, it's hard now. A lot of the teams in the Championship will go for the younger players on loan because it's a free hit, really, for the clubs. They can send them back if they don't do well. Whereas if you sign a player on a 3-4 year deal, if they don't hit the ground running, it's seen as a liability now. So it's obviously I don't know the current squad, but in a way, obviously everyone wants to stay up. But when I was at Wolves, we needed to go down in a sense to get that winning feeling back.
Yeah.
And then go again, if you know what I mean, because there's a lot of stuff happening at the club at the minute, isn't there? Like, and obviously the owner's not going to go anywhere, but obviously you don't want him to go down, but to get there's that little bit where you want that winning feeling back, if you know what I mean, and like be the top dogs, and then maybe have a clear out of a few players and stuff like that and start again, go from scratch with the new owners and their vision. But there needs to be stability with the manager. Like, that's the thing that's been lacking at Blues over the past 10 years. They cracked it twice with the right managers, which was Gary Monk and Gary Rowett, and the old owners messed it up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, ego, or they thought that it was a certain way of playing. They messed it up because those two managers would have eventually I believe, would have got us over the line.
Yeah.
Can I ask, sorry, Paul. Can I ask Dave? You know, sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, so and so's not bothered. He'll be off at the end of the season. He's not trying." Do you reckon that's true to some extent? Do you reckon footballers do think like that they don't put the effort in because they know they're going to be off?
I personally can't speak for a lot of people, but I do presume, or I've seen a few players that I've thought, yeah, he's not really that bothered. Do you know what I mean? Whether he's got a year left on his contract, whether he's running his contract down, or he's out of contract. Like, I've seen a few people where I thought, he's not really. I don't really want to play with him today, if you know what I mean. But you don't know everyone's scenario, and I could be wrong judging them, if you know what I mean. Like, but obviously sometimes you get that impression from people.
Would the other lads sort of chip in and say, you know, sort of get on the back and say, come on, you know, you've got to put the effort in, you know, dig him out, sort of thing. Yeah,
a little bit. Or it just sounds really silly. We just go to the manager and say, listen, he can't play on Saturday. Or like, obviously it's down to the manager from there, but like as a group of players, like we know what it takes to get out of the situation we're in. So we'd just go as a group and say, like, if we thought that someone wasn't pulling the weight, yeah, it kind of be like that.
Yeah. Mark Meredith, you got anything you want to ask Digger yourself?
Yeah, just going back to that one you was obviously say about Rowett and Monk and stuff. So when we sacked and brought Zola in that season, what was the feeling around the players then when obviously we had Zola just I suppose just turned up as a big name, and we all know he's a great football player. But what was your thoughts as a player then?
Honestly, we were devastated. Like we were on a cool down because we just beat Ipswich 2-1. So we were on a cool down. The gaffer was supposed to have a day off. We get called into the meeting room. Didn't have a Scooby what it was about. Get told that gaffer's been sacked. We're like, what? Like in disbelief because we just won. Like I know there's new owners and whatever, and then we got told Zola was coming in. So we were just shocked, disappointed, because I think that scenario, you'd want to ask the players, especially as new owners, like, what do you think of this manager? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it was weird for us. But it's football and you have to kind of move on quickly. As much as we were gutted, 100 had come in and we thought at the time, well, we're fourth, let's try and capitalise on this. Obviously it didn't work, and I felt sorry for Zola in a sense, because a lot of his backroom staff were kind of against him. Like there was this weird situation we had where we played Blackburn away, and his assistant Gabby, he pulled us all in. Like we had our tactics meeting at like 10:30 in the morning, and Gabby was like, "Meet us in room, I don't know, 502 at 1:45." So me, guards, Keith, Glees, can't remember who else. He brought us in a room, and he was like, "Forget what Zola's just said. Play this way." And we're all looking at each other like, what? He's like, yeah, play this way and make sure you move the ball this way. Don't listen to what the gaffer said, because if we play this way, like, we're not going to get much success from the game. We were just like, we couldn't fathom it. And a lot of the backroom staff were kind of against him a little bit. I don't know why he brought him in. But yeah, it was a bit weird.
That is weird, isn't it? Yeah, sounds like unorganised chaos.
Yeah,
which is
there was a lot of that going on, mate, while I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's take it back to the start. Then, obviously, I think it was the 2014 pre-season, wasn't it? Signed, and it was Lee Clark, wasn't it, that signed you at the time?
Yeah.
How did that come about? Then, obviously, you was at Wolves, and how did it come about the move to Blues? And did you have anyone else, obviously, you was linked with at the time, or anyone else that was after you?
Well, I think it was a week before, 2 weeks before, I was supposed to go on loan to Barnsley. But at the time, if Wolves said they wouldn't pay my think it was like signing on fee for that year. And I was like, fine, I'll scrap it. Then they wanted like some, I think it was appearance fees. And just my agent was like, this is ridiculous. Like, just let him go and play football. Like, I don't know why you're getting all technical. So in the end, it worked out, to be honest, because I had a call off Lee Clark, and I met him at the pub or the hotel just around the corner from the training ground.
Okay.
Westfield, Westmead.
Yeah, Westmead. Yeah.
Westmead.
Yeah.
Met him there, and I knew straight away I wanted to play for him. He seemed straight up, said what he wanted from me, and it felt like a bit of a fresh start. He was still local for me as well, like.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a fresh start. Yeah, I signed under him. First couple of games was obviously was okay. We didn't do that great, but then as soon as Rowett come in, I think we all clicked, because we kind of knew that we could depend on each other. Like, we probably weren't the most talented group, but hard work and work ethic, we knew that we could outmatch anyone, and I think Gary brought the best out of us in that.
And that's what we got. We got the opposite to that now. You see, we've got a lot of good flair players in the team and skillful players, but there's just no grit there. And that's why we're getting rolled over when we're conceding goals a lot.
Yeah, it's weird as well, because a lot of the fans over the years are probably wanting those flair players, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we're crying out for a few, and obviously in your team you do need a few, and those people who can bring with those magic moments and the wow factor.
Yeah.
Probably had it a bit more so, I'd say, under Redknapp, because he brought a lot of players in. You had Jeremy Boga, didn't feature a lot, but you had a lot more tricky technical players then, but didn't really work. And I felt a bit sorry for Steve Cottrell, because he came in off the back of being assistant, where we all had this great camaraderie with him, but we didn't see him as a gaffer, if that makes sense. It's hard for that transition. And he came in with no budget, really, so he couldn't really do anything. But I think with those flair players, I think if you can work hard, it's the basics, isn't it? Just work hard and let the rest of it do the talking, because hard work does beat talent. And it's a silly old saying, but it does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But every team and every good team in football history has always got the grafters in there. And, Tony Mowbray calls them the artists and the soldiers.
Yeah.
Exactly, going back further, like we had Martin O'Connor and Brian Hughes in the middle, and they were like complemented each other so well. Because you had Martin O'Connor who'd do all the dirty work, and Brian Hughes who would, unlock a defence or some world-class goals for us. Two great players together, but so different to each other as players, if you know what I mean.
This is what I think as well, though. Like, you see all the top players, technically great, but what separates them all? Consistency and hard work.
Yeah,
Browne works his nuts off. So do Oliver and Bernardo Silva. These players are at the top because, number one, they're consistent.
Yeah,
like, obviously they've got ability, but they work hard. So if you want to get to the top and you want to kick on with your career, you got to work hard, and that's the basics. Like, if you've got the ability, then fair enough. But if you don't, one without the other, no one's going to want you.
Yeah, no. Craig, I'll come to you now, mate. You got anything you want to ask Digger, and then we'll go on to the shout box for a bit, and then we'll come on to.
I was going to say, there's
got lined up for you, mate.
There's loads of questions, Craig. On
the shout box has been
it's crazy,
absolutely manic. But yeah, I mean, Digger, in terms of your time at the club, you've mentioned there first of all, signing from Wolves, coming to Birmingham.
Yeah.
But why? Apart from meeting Lee Clark, why Birmingham? What was the draw at the time?
I think, obviously, I've got a lot of family and friends who are Blues fans, but being local, you know what it kind of means to play for a local side. So there's that pride of... I think as well, that there was a bit of me. I used to go to a couple of the Blues games, I think, when Jermaine Pennant was there, and I remember him playing on tag. It sounds really... things that I should remember, but I used to go to the Blues then a little bit with a guy called Tom Smythe and his dad Andy Smythe. They used to take me, so I remember like bits and bobs and games. I do remember a Premier League game. I think Leeds beat them 3-0. I think like Robbie Keane scored or something like that. He hadn't scored for ages, but that's me remembering. But just going to that game and feeling that atmosphere, and obviously at the time the club weren't known to be doing great. But having seen that Premier League game at that time, you can see what the club's really about. Do you know what I mean? If and when they're doing well, it gets bouncing. Do you know what I mean? The atmosphere is great, especially at that time. It takes pride and wanting to prove myself as well.
And actually, one of the questions that's just come in is from Nigel Mann, and he said, "No pressure, but who's the best fans, Wolves or Blues?"
Oh, Blues all day, mate.
No brainer.
Yeah.
All day.
No
I knew you
brainer.
was going to say. I remember your celebration at Molineux when you scored against them for us as well.
I was really puzzled though when I left. Like they booed me. I know I went to Birmingham, but it wasn't my at that time. It wasn't my choice to leave. Kenny Jackett just I weren't in favour with him, so it's not like I'd played badly or. So it was a bit of a weird when I first went back there and they booed me. It was like I was homegrown from there, so it was a bit like didn't expect like a massive applause, but not to the degree of booing and stuff like that. So it was a bit when I scored against him, it was like I was buzzing.
Jason Hughes got a question from Jason Hughes. What was it like dealing with all the big music egos for the "We Are the World" charity single?
I've been waiting for that one.
Am I supposed to get that or?
I think it's
There's a Lionel Richie.
It's to do your doppelganger of being Lionel Richie.
You think I look like it? Like, probably the moustache and the moustache, beard.
Yeah. It was a handsome get. Don't worry.
Yeah, he was all right, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was all right.
He was a good-looking bloke, Lionel Richie, when he was 33, definitely. Right, yeah. I wanted to ask you about the number 26. Did that mean something to you? Because I remember at the time we were linked with John Terry, weren't we, under Redknapp? And
yeah,
we were getting a bit of banter flying about, weren't you, about giving him your number? And you was like,
yeah, I put a tweet out, didn't I, mate?
Yeah.
Even if he'd come, I wouldn't have given it him.
No. So what did it mean to you then? That number was it?
I think like it was my first. I had it at Wolves, didn't I? So it was my first team number. And then I remember trying to switch to 8 when we went down to League One. I went to number 8, and it just weren't me. So I went back to 26, obviously, when I was back at Blues. But it was my first ever like squad number. So first team squad number.
Yeah.
So it just meant a lot to me. I felt like it was me. Do you know when like you have a number, and I think sometimes you think you've got to be number 8, number 10 because it's in that first 11. But you went like you just go with what feels comfortable for you, and 26. That was my number.
Yeah. Fair play. Claire, we got quick fire questions.
Yeah, let me just get them up. Quick question. Have you got any other stories about the Dong Ren era? Because we've heard quite a few off Harley Dean and Stockdale. Have you got any ones that haven't been said yet that you're allowed to say?
I remember this meeting we had where like it was after a game we'd lost. And we all sat in like the video analysis room, and the main man came in. We've never saw him before, but he came down. So we knew it must have been like bad. And he was saying something, like he was saying like in Chinese, whatever he was saying, and Dong was translating it. But you just knew Dong was not saying what he was saying, like he just knew it wasn't. And the only way I can describe it was like, you ever watched like some of them Chinese films where like they're talking and the back, like the mouth is not adding up to like it's a delay. It was that, mate. Like I felt like I was in a film, but you just knew Dong was not saying what he was saying. Maybe because he didn't want to offend us, but whoever this top guy was, you could tell he was caning us.
You mean you actually got to meet the top guy? Because I think as fans, we never knew who he was.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I think we met him once, and we only knew he was the top guy because, like, Dong was, like, basically he was, like, scattering around him. So you knew he was, like, something to do with, like, one of the top people, and he just flew in from China. But it was almost like, do you remember, like, Edward and the other guy? It was almost like they just went to someone off the street and just picked them two up because they had not a clue about football, not a clue about the club. It was like they just hired them from nowhere.
Did he try and take your position? I know Dong liked to go training, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to do kick-ups in like very expensive shoes, and it made no sense. It was just like I don't know. It was especially when he moved to the training ground. That was weird.
Yeah, because he was based at the stadium before, was he?
Yeah, based at the stadium, and then he was because he was proper paranoid about stuff. not the manager. So he moved his office down the training ground, and it just became weird.
Was it true, Dave, that he kept the Carling Cup there as well?
At the training ground?
Yeah, apparently there's a rumour he kept the Carling Cup. He took the Carling Cup with him, kept that there as well.
I didn't see it, so I can't confirm or deny that one. I didn't personally see it.
Yeah. So we got Claire's quick-fire questions. So what it is, Digger, basically, Claire's going to ask you for about a minute or so.
Yeah.
Some quick-fire questions.
Yeah.
Okay. First football memory.
Ian Wright, Arsenal.
Was that your team when you was a kid?
Who's the most influential captain?
Influential captain, Cole Henry at Wolves, probably my biggest mentor.
Your ultimate five-a-side team from any football era?
Any player, like not that I've played with. Henry, R9, Nesta. Do I have to have a goalie?
No.
All right.
Just say Kusha.
Nesta, Perlo, and Xavi.
Best opposition player you played against?
Probably Paul Scholes.
First ever professional goal?
Charlton.
Worst referee?
Oh, all of them. After that rookie came in, honestly, about you get carded for speaking to them, they all became just too nice for you. It was ridiculous.
Quickest player you've played with?
Owen Brummel.
What?
Oh, that's the name. That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, unexpected.
That's like stopped me in my tracks there because I didn't realise that would be the question. Best friend in football?
Probably say Harley.
If you weren't a footballer, what would you have been?
Oof. I used to love IT growing up, so I used to take computers apart and put them back together, like hard drives and SSDs and stuff like that. So I was quite savvy with that, but obviously it's changed a lot since I was doing it when it was Packard Bell. But something to do with IT, I think.
Best away ground you played at?
Oh, Celtic Park.
And if you could relive any football memory, which one would it be?
Can't be that Villa goal, innit?
Yeah.
Got to be in it.
It has to be, like, honestly. Even when I watch it now, like, the place is bouncing. Like, it's unreal. I get goosebumps every time. I still see it, like, 7 years later.
Yeah.
It was amazing in the stands as well, mate. You know, I just got back from my beef right the day before, and I just remember, like, when you scored that goal, there's actually a picture of you in the shot, and if you look behind you, you can see me and my dad sat there, like, in the...
Yeah. Let's have a look at one of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Why haven't I got it queued up?
Guard scored as well. Guard scored that day for Villa as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he scored a header, didn't he?
He went mad as well.
Yeah. Apparently he's a Blues fan, isn't he?
Yes.
There's a hint of sarcasm there, I think. There was a hint of sarcasm there.
No, not from me, mate.
That was quick-fire questions. Shall we come on to the Who now, Chris? Can we get that done? So,
yeah, can we go in about 30 seconds? I just need to go and see somebody.
Who? Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. Let's actually then, let's do... Should we do squad game, Craig? You got that ready?
I have indeed.
So we've got a few... I've got a few fun games lined up, didn't I, Digger? So squad game is basically where Craig is going to name a season.
Yeah.
And it's the season that you played for us.
Yeah.
And you get 30 seconds to name as many players as you can from that season, and one of us is going to go head against you.
Yeah.
And whoever gets the most basically wins.
Okay.
Who's... Go on, Craig, over to you. Who's playing?
Right. So I think we've got this competition going on that nobody's ever beat Paul, but actually, Digger, I fancy your chances. So we're going to go up against you.
Okay.
So the first season is 2016-2017. How many players do you think you can name out of that, Digger?
So what we do now is we go heads or tails to see who wants to go first. So do you want to go heads? Chris, you got a coin?
I have, yep.
He's always carrying loose change, ain't you?
Yeah. Okay. Heads or tails?
Tails, mate.
It is tails.
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second. I'll see what I'll come up against.
I thought you might. Okay. So 2016, 2017, someone got the clock for me?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you want to go. Okay, ready, steady, go.
Thomas Kuszczak, Adam Ledgkins. I'm going to go for... Oh, God, my head's gone. Michael Morrison, Ryan Shotton, Jonathan Grounds, David Davis,
Who?
Stephen Beeson, Jax Magoma, up front, we had Sam Gallagher. We had Shay Adams. We had Lucas Djukovic.
5 seconds.
We had... God, I'm struggling here.
That's you go.
Sam Gallagher don't count, does he?
No, he does. We signed him the season after, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did I get about?
You got 9 there, Paul. That's actually one of your lowest ones.
That's poor.
There's so much pressure on you there.
Bit of
I'm
training.
feeling quite confident.
Awful.
Wow.
You got a bit on, yeah. So the season now is 1992, 1993.
It's actually the next season on, so 2017, 2018.
I've got a lot of players to pick from there, ain't I?
I've just told you one of them.
Confident there.
With Gallagher, he's already on 2, himself and Gallagher.
Yeah.
Okay. Then.
Yeah.
Right then, on your marks, get set, go.
Jason Lowe, Harley Dean, Hotter, David Davis,
Go on.
Emilio Ensu, Michael Morrison, Paul Robinson, Shay Adams. Who else did we have? Check Doy, Stephen Gleeson.
5 seconds.
Jake Clark. No, that was a year after.
Time's up. That's it.
Oh, yeah, just done it.
Literally at the last grasp, he got you there, Paul, because it was 9-all at that point.
Whoa. Well,
I think it takes it.
I had a lot of players to choose from as well. My mind went blank.
It does, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, it gets you. It does. You just go blank. That just happened to me.
And just whilst we've been speaking, I'm just going to read out a couple of text messages that I've had.
Yeah.
And Dig, I want you to tell me if you know who these would be from and actually what the stories are, because the first one is Cultural Lobby of the, is it STK London?
What's that about?
Is that code?
So yeah, Christmas do. Me and David, we were just having a bit of banter, and I've just basically, me and him have had a bit of a wrestle in STK lobby. I've come out on top, to be fair, but he was just, you know what? It got to the point where, obviously, you've seen what's come out about him, stuff like that. So we kind of knew what he was doing with some of the young lads, and we just had no respect for him as well at that point. Like, he was taking money off lads that didn't have money and saying they could put in some syndicate or whatever it was. And yeah, a few drunken Christmas do's, and yeah, we're rolling it up a little bit.
The second one you've already mentioned, which is the foam roller.
Yeah.
The last comment is just simply Golden Girls.
You Golden Girls. That was what Steve Cottrell had the name for me, Shay and Vass, called us the Golden Girls. Don't ask me why. He couldn't be some mad name for everyone, but he had some comical moments. He did.
He was a character, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So the question is, do you know who they were from?
Were they from Harley?
They were from Harley.
Yeah, for the were, man.
So we got the Who ready, Chris?
We certainly have, almost, nearly, probably. Wait,
what we're going to do now, Digger, is play a player talking that you've played with, and we want you to tell us who it is.
Okay.
Hang on a second, because
I'm obviously saying "ooh" like that because that's what happens at St Andrews, isn't it, when the opposition make a sub?
Ooh.
Ooh?
Yeah.
Ooh?
There we go, I was in the dark. Right then, are we ready? There we go. Let's turn a bit of volume up. Here we go.
Not really, no. Obviously, everyone's gutted about the result. I think we put everything into it. I think everyone could see that we wanted to go and get the win, and unfortunately, it didn't come off today, and they went and got one at the end, which was really disappointing. But
on fire tonight.
Whoa! Have we?
He hadn't even finished talking, man.
Have we ever had anybody get it that quick?
Lads who are really close with, I know their voices, mate, like the back of my hand. I was horny as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was who?
Okay, so I'm blaming Paul for that then.
Yeah. So the last thing that we'll do, and then we'll come on to some more viewers' questions and some questions across the room as well. We asked you to pick your 1 to 11, didn't we, from the played with at Blues, and along with the manager and the captain as well. So yeah, what formation you playing?
Oh, I didn't pick the captain, but I know who the captain is actually. Yeah,
Okay.
I know who the captain is.
Okay.
Who do you want first?
So what formation we going?
We are going a 4-4-2, but a diamond.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So start us off in goal then. Yeah, over to you.
Randolph.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was a very good keeper at the time, and he kept us in a lot of games, especially that season. He caught trumps a lot of games, and to the career he's had as well. Like,
yeah,
it'd be easy to go for someone like Stocky, but he didn't have the greatest time when I was there. So like, Randolph was a better goalie.
Yeah.
Right back, got Caddy, most underrated player ever.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people probably thought he was overweight, and he got kind of sacked off from Blues because they thought he was overweight. But you know, with some people, like they perform well with the weight that they are. You like, and if you take that away from them, sometimes they get worse. Like, it might be psychological, but unbelievable player. I don't know whether you guys thought it at the time, but consistently.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting you to say Maxime. That's who I thought you'd pick. But
Maxime was good, but during my time, especially that team those first 2 years, mate, like some of the like results we produced was just, especially because like, we weren't expected to, were we? Were so like to be that consistent against some of the top teams, like it was a big year.
Yeah. Centre halves.
I've got Harley and Morrow.
Yeah, good partnership with that.
Yeah.
Two soldiers, mate. Two absolutes, especially that Gary Monk season before the FFP and points deduction. I think that killed us, knowing that that was coming, because we kind of knew that about December, and obviously it came in March. But psychologically, we knew that we were just on the back foot. Do you know what I mean?
That get you down as players, would you say?
Yeah, massively, because we were doing so well, and it just felt like it was out of our, like, it was nothing to do with us playing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were putting the performances. Shea was on fire, Juku was on fire, everyone was on fire. Like, it was just disappointing. Like, and we just knew, because the championship's so hard. How do you get back 10 points? Like, do you know what I mean? How'd you get that back?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think we feel a bit like that at the moment as fans, because we've got obviously these dream owners now. We're going places in the future, but we're all obviously dreading relegation on Saturday. You know, we're all hoping, praying that we can survive, because we know that the future's so much brighter. You know.
Yeah, and I think I was buzzing when like they took over, man, because the club needs it, man. It needs some bright days.
Yeah. Okay, left back.
Granzy, Mr. Absolute 7 out of 10 every week. And to be fair, since then we haven't had no real left backs that have stayed consistent, have we? Since like
I never got the stick that Groundy took, because I thought it was solid every week.
There was always a scapegoat though, weren't there?
Yeah.
At some point, but like it was never the luxury people. It's always the hard grafters, isn't it? But I think with Granzy, it's probably an easy one. I don't know, because he's in defence, and he like if we concede goals, it's the defender's fault. But I don't know. But for me, 7 out of 10 every week.
Did Pedersen run in close or nah?
Nah, not really. He was a big dope, he was, mate.
That's what Harley said. What did Harley say now when he come on? He said he was that stupid. He got robbed by his own next door neighbour or something.
I think he did, mate. And then he hired security like he was Pablo Escobar. He was ridiculous.
Okay, right mid.
Well, bottom of the diamond.
Yeah.
I've got the one, the only, my favourite centre midfield partner ever. I think you all know who it is.
Kifton Bell.
Kifton Bell.
Loved
him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Me and him together, mate. Like, I love playing with him because I just knew that when we're coming up against someone, we were just going to have the better of them. Like, me and him, we were both technically okay, but we'd run people over. And I just felt confident every game that me and him could just overpower the midfield and let everyone else do their job, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What a guy as well. Like,
what have you both in the midfield on Saturday, mate?
Yeah.
Mate, that's why I love that Fulham game, because like, it sounds silly, but I knew like I just fancied me and him like over like Kev McDonald and all those kind of players. Like I just fancied us.
Yeah.
On the right of that diamond, John Terrell. I had a bit of a dilemma really because, like, especially Mags and John Terrell, they play the 10, don't they? But I think John was more defensive minded at times than Mags. So John's an unbelievable player. Didn't replicate the form that he did when he came back, but you guys know, like, that season he was magic, weren't he?
That volley against Ipswich was just unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think as well, knowing we had it was mad because, like, he was Spanish, but he had that English about him, like where he'd win an header or a tackle, or do you know what I mean? That's why we loved him as well as a player, because, like, he could produce those moments of brilliance, but would have some as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next to him, I got the one and only Jude.
Oh wow, yeah.
Everybody spoke about him, like, what a guy, what a player. And like I say, he's probably the best player in the world at the minute, and he will get a Ballon d'Or, won't he?
Yeah, it must make you feel proud when you see him, like, lining up for Real Madrid and England.
He does, you know, and I think it's weird because he's younger than me. But I see, like, him, Odin, Geraldo, all those guys that were like my kids at the time, because I used to, like, proper look after them and nurture them, and now they've gone on to do good things. But Jude, what a guy. In the 10, I've got Mags. I don't know whether you guys... What did you guys think of Mags, man? Because a lot of the feedback I used to get was, like, some people loved him, some people thought he'd be inconsistent, but for me, like, came up trumps in so many big moments. Like, probably the first couple of 2 seasons probably didn't hit the ground running, but after that, I think he was one of our best players, like, especially keep ball retention and just being able to produce magic in games, especially under Gary Monk that year.
I think he had more lovers than haters.
Yeah. It was popular.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so anyway, because what a guy, man.
Run his heart out for us.
Yeah, as well,
he's a lovely bloke as well, isn't he? I mean, we've met him, and it's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, we've had Mags on probably about 18. We had Mags on. Yeah. Alan, did you write Mags?
I remember we discussed with him. I said to him, you never scored tap-ins, did you? If you scored, it was a wonder goal, and he was a great finisher. One-on-one with the keeper. Keeper got no chance. He put it past him, no problems. And I remember that. I think it was against Norwich early in the season, and something came either back off the goalie or off a crossbar.
Yeah, I remember.
He hit it first time, and he nearly bust the net. Yeah. And there was, I think he got one past Jack Butland, which takes some doing, doesn't it, Paul? But he scored some absolute blinders. He was quick as well. He was quick.
Yeah, that's a good
group, mate. Honestly, I think my favourite group was probably the 18-19 season. We had such a good group, mate. Like, just people like you would want to be with outside of the training ground as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's hard to come by. Like, people just was like, you were genuinely excited to come to the training ground every day.
Yeah, I know you say Harley's your best mate in football now, but are there many more of the lads that you're still in touch with as well?
Yes, I still speak to, like, Vass, Josh McEachran, Shay, still speak to Mags, Omar Bogle a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of the other boys, like Mendes Lang, like, you guys don't really know, but Blues lads, just a few of them,
Yeah. And then up front, you got your front two.
Yeah, this one was very hard, One's easy because it's Shay.
Yeah.
Himself in it, what a guy. I remember, before that Gary Monk season, I used to say to him, like, I don't think he realised how good he was, and that probably showed with how inconsistent he was. But I said to him, like, I always used to say to him, you are like Andre Gray and Callum Wilson, but you're technically better. You're powerful, you're strong, but you are technically better than those players. But you just got to be confident with it, and you got to believe in it. And Gary Monk got that out of him, and, like, you saw it, like, once it clicked in his mind. What a guy, what a finisher, what a player. And obviously you see him now doing wonderful things for Southampton, and he's doing really well. And he took a bit of a slow burner in the Prem, but that shows he needs that confidence and that manager that will bring the best out in him. But
he's
very similar to those two players.
Yeah, he also couldn't have played up front with anybody better at the time than the Duke either, could he? I mean, what a man to play off as well.
So this was hard. Sorry, what was you going to say, mate?
I was just going to say, there's a 7-foot picture of him in Hampden Park.
Yeah.
Really?
Is he Scottish?
Yeah, he plays for Scotland.
Yeah, plays Scotland, yeah. Well, yeah.
One of those ones.
Yeah. His mum's dog, his brother's aunt's cat.
Yeah.
The last one up front was very hard. Two legends, Dukey or Clates, but I have gone with Clates because
you're in trouble.
Because I don't think enough people realise how good he was for those 2 seasons. He scored 18 goals in the championship, and he could have had 30. He used to miss sitters, but score harder chances.
Yeah.
He used to say to me, he used to miss one-on-ones. I remember the one at Craven Cottage. And then in that same game, he scored a harder goal.
Yeah.
Like, he used to win his own flick-ons. He was, like, fast, strong, didn't mind going in the channel. You could spin it in there, like, chase lost causes. Like, don't get me wrong, Dukey does all that. And it's tight between the two. But during my time, I think the one who had most impact would have been Clates. Like those 2 seasons, like you say, he got 18, got championship goals. It's no mean feat. Do you know what I mean?
Not at all. No, and he was underrated, wasn't he? I thought.
Yeah.
And most of the time he played for us, he was up there on his own, running the channel.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. He just used to do everything. He covered every blade of grass. He ran the channels. He scored goals. He was strong. He was quick. He was just everything, wasn't he? Yeah. And what I'd give for him up front on Saturday as well with Jay Stansford.
Yeah, not wrong.
Dukey's got my heart though, mate. Like what a time. Like
legend.
Honestly, mate. Like one of the nicest guys in football you'll ever meet as well. But like can switch it up. So intelligent. He's one of those guys. Yeah. You listen to him and he's so intelligent. You just zone in and you're in awe.
Yeah.
He is like, and you can just have he's like a social chameleon. He can adapt to any crowd and just a lovely man.
Yeah.
But
I think
also
that would be the cherry on a very stale cake from this season for him to come off the bench on Saturday. You know, we're at 1-1 with about 10 minutes to go. He comes off the bench and he gets the winner. If he does that, if that happens, they need to build a statue of him.
Sorry, mate, my son's just come in the room. Sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
There should be a statue of him anyway, because the amount of blood, sweat, and tears he's done, like the amount of times he's had his head wrapped up.
I know.
Yeah. I know. I mean, even coming off the bench Saturday, you know, he's nowhere near match fit, is he? You know what I mean? He's battling back to try and help us survive.
That's what I'm saying. He's one of those trench players that you look at and you go, you know what, he's with me today.
Yeah.
I mean, a player like that should inspire that dressing room. You know, to have a guy like Dukey alongside you, you should tap into that energy.
Yeah.
100%, but I don't know what these young lads are like now. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm from the old school era where, you know, I used to buzz off stuff like that. Like, someone got me up for it. I mean, that's a bit of me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really for that squad, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so captain and manager of that team. It's a very good team, by the way.
I'm going to go Morrow. Captain fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
Proper leader, man. Like, good off the pitch, good on the pitch. Demanded high standards. And, top captain for me. My best captain, yeah.
30 seconds ball.
Yeah.
30 seconds ball. 30 seconds ball.
It's got to be Gary Rowett.
Yeah.
Best manager I've played for ever as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, you'd run through the ground for him.
Yeah.
That kind of, even when you weren't in, like, there was times where I went in the team and he just made you feel like you were a part of it. Like all the time, like you had like a point in the squad, or like, you know what I mean, you had a, do you know what I mean, you were a real asset to the squad at the time, and everyone had a place.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, anyone else quickly for 10 seconds? Mark Meredith, you want to ask Digger one last question?
It's probably going to go back to the goal. Obviously, we talked about your Villa goal and then the Wolves one.
Yeah.
Different feelings on both, especially playing for Wolves as well. But would your Villa one be your best one? And is there a reason why them two would be your most, I suppose, special ones?
I think I'd say, probably my best one. I think the significance of the Wolves one was massive because that was a massive 3 points for us in that season. Obviously, when Zola got sacked, but previous to that, we hadn't won since the Fulham game, and it was just a massive, massive win for us. So, and Robbo got sent off early, so the performance in that one. But yeah, I'd probably say that one over I love the Villa one, don't get me wrong, but I think the meaning behind the Wolves one, obviously because they booed and stuff like that, but the significance of what it meant for that season as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've been the Tilton Talk Show. Thanks for watching. It's good night from me, and it's good night from Craig Courtney.
It's good night from me, and I just want to say, Saturday, be loud, be proud, support the boys, and remember, for those people from the club, we wear the shirt that has the badge on our heart. That's what we want the club and the players to show us on Saturday. Give us it all. That's all we ask, and we'll back you to the hill. Come on. And it's over to Mark Adams.
It's good night for me, and I'll just echo what Craig said. Just give it everything on Saturday, please. It's the least we deserve. So that's all I'm saying. And I'll say good night, and I'll pass you over to Mark over in Dallas.
It's a good night from me, and just some simple words. Keep right on. And it's a good night from Claire Giblin.
It's good night for me. Pride, passion, commitment. Come on, Blues, you can do this. One last go. Do or die. And it's good night from the chairman, Alan Watton.
Thank you, Claire. Yes, I can't add much more to that. You know, I'm like Claire. I'll be glad when it's all over, whatever happens, and we get on with the cricket season. To be honest, but I'll be on my knees for the next 4 or 5 days. God bless you all, and see you soon.
It's good night from Chris Browne.
Sorry, hello? Is it me you're looking for?
No!
I've been waiting an hour and a half for that.
You're going to get the Cottrell treatment.
Or the Kuyak one.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
And good night from Davey Davis.
Of course.
Good night, everyone.
Cheers, Dave.
See you in a bit.
Cheers, Digger.
Thank you.
No worries. Have a good night, guys.
Oh, okay, is that new booking?
Might bring it on Saturday, to be fair. Might draw a face on it to talk to.
You're not going to lend it to Chris?
No.
Oh, I should have had it tonight, shouldn't I?
I could do, actually.
Be your friend.
Yeah, I've drawn a face on it, and he's looking forward to Saturday.
Maybe he can play. He might give more passion and commitment than the players we've got. The bucket.
Yeah, could do.
Bro, do not predict the scores this week, please.
Oh, we haven't done predictions, have we?
No.
0-0.
There's no need for predictions. There's
No
only
50-50, no predictions, no betting, nothing.
No, not allowed, banned.
No 50-50. I like that one, Claire. Best thing we've ever said.
Oh, it's already arranged. I'm ever so sorry. It's already planned.
Away days are great, but there's nothing quite like playing at home. The same goes for McDonald's. Maximise your home ground advantage with McDelivery. Order now on the McDonald's app. At participating restaurants, 18 plus serving times, delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Miracles do happen. A gorgeously imaginative new musical is now on Broadway. Water for Elephants is a New York Times critic's pick. It's stunning, emotional, spellbinding entertainment. A dazzling love story, propulsive with passion. Don't miss the best new musical on Broadway. Water for Elephants. Get tickets now at telecharge.com and choose the ride.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.